Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amina and this is Experiencing Fragrances. Today I am doing a challenge video. Joa Lima from The Scented Moments. If you don't know Joa, he's so cute, he's so handsome. Joa Lima from The Scented Moments created a challenge called the Sample Pack Challenge, and it's basically where we choose fragrances that fit in 13 categories to create a sample pack. So as you can imagine, this was quite a tough challenge trying to decide on which 13 fragrances I would choose to create my own sample pack. So these are going to be fragrances from my personal collection, and I decided to stick with full bottles that I had rather than some samples that I own for reasons you will find out towards the end of the video. There's a giveaway. So Joa listed 13 different categories, and I will name them, or name each category and name which fragrance I would choose for that category. Yes, so let's get started. So the first category is aromatic. What kind of aromatic fragrance from my collection would I choose for this challenge? It was a bit tough because at the beginning I was thinking I should choose something that was a fougere, but then I thought, okay, fougères are quite masculine usually. Although I do love fougères, I know a lot of other women may not like fougères, so I wanted to pick an aromatic fragrance that I found was more unisex. And for that I chose Andy Towers Lone Star Memory. I know you guys have seen this on my channel plenty of times, but this one is one of the most beautiful leather fragrances I have. It's a very aromatic and fresh take on a leather fragrance. The leather is very prominent, but because of the aromatic qualities, it makes it very easy to wear all throughout the year, whether it's the summertime or the winter. Lone Star Memories is a good one to try, and I think would be a really good pick for something that's in a sample pack. The next category is citrus. I actually don't have a lot of citrus fragrances in my collection, and the fragrance that I'm gonna show to fit that category to me isn't a citrus fragrance, but according to Fragrantica and other databases, it is a citrus fragrance, so you know, there's that. So for that category, I decided to pick Outrageous by Frederic Malle. So to me, Outrageous is mostly a neroli orange blossom fragrance. Very beautiful, very fresh. It's not screechy, it's very smooth and just so good, especially for the warmer months. I think this was one of my most worn fragrances for the summer, this past summer, and I enjoyed wearing it every time. The lasting power isn't the greatest, but it's a 100ml bottle. It's not as expensive as some of the other Frederic Malle fragrances, so for this, I don't mind making a small decant, sticking it in my bag, and refreshing as needed. So yeah, Outrageous is a beautiful spring summertime fragrance that I think will be perfect for a overall sample pack. The next category is green. So what kind of green fragrance would be in my collection? Green, I used to struggle a lot with green, but now that I am well into my fragrance journey, I have learned to embrace green fragrances, and I actually really do enjoy them. And one of the green fragrances that really kind of pushed me into exploring more is Undergrowth by Rook. I featured this fragrance when Brian and I from Nose No Notes did a collaboration where we talk about fragrances that we grew to love, and Undergrowth was in it because it's very green, very fresh, very minty. It's like super fresh mints, has this really realistic soil accord that just works fantastically. It has this cooling sensation that I just think works so well for when it's hot. And again, this is Undergrowth by Rook. The next category is aquatics, and aquatics is another category that I personally struggle with. I don't really like a lot of aquatic fragrances. There's probably only a handful that I can say that I've tried and I really do love and feel that they are full bottle worthy. One that I think is probably one of the most unique aquatic fragrances out there, like ever, I haven't come across anything more unique than this, is Aurora Nomad, but this is so bad. I should just do like this. Yeah. Aurora Nomad by The Different Company. Can you see the TV? Can you see what we're watching? Comment down below if you know what's on the TV. Yeah, so Aurora Nomad by The Different Company is this really interesting, fruity, aquatic fragrance. There's this really interesting banana note in the opening, but it's more like a banana bubblegum note. But it has, of course, very strong and very prominent aquatic notes. And when I wear this fragrance, I feel like I was sitting in a pool full of like tropical and exotic fruits for hours and hours and hours. And I get out of the pool and my skin smells like this. It's so skin-like, but so unique. There's a fruity category coming up soon. Actually, it's the next category. But to me, the aquatic note in this one I found very special. So I have another fragrance that falls in the fruity category instead. But this one is just fantastic. It's slightly animalic, but it's just so sexy. And this was actually my most worn summer fragrance this year. This one was most worn, then maybe what's this? Outrageous second. So yeah, that is Aurora Nomad by The Different Company. Now the next category is fruity. So if you guys know me, then you would know that I do sometimes struggle with fruity fragrances as well. A lot of the times, the ones that contain like red fruits, whether it's like strawberry or raspberry or any kind of berries, those are kind of a turn off for me because they kind of turn on my skin. And a lot of the times, fruity fragrances can come off a bit childish and very young. And I feel like at my age, when I wear fragrances like that, I feel uncomfortable, not myself. So I'm very picky when it comes to fruit fragrances. And the one that I'm going to show you today is spectacular. I love it. It comes from an indie brand by Mr. Oz, Motif Olfactive, and it's from his most recent release, and this one is Makai. Makai, it's gorgeous. It's this beautiful medley of tropical fruits. There's green mango in here, some really beautiful exotic like florals. The inspiration for this fragrance was Mr. Oz's trip to Hawaii with his wife, and I feel like he really captured the essence of Hawaii here. I've never been to Hawaii. One day I will, but when I smell this, I'm like, yeah, that could be Hawaii. It smells amazing. It has great lasting power. It's quite unique. I would say that it sort of smells like Aurora Nomad from The Different Company, but without the aquatic note in here. This one is fresh, but it's not light. It is still dense and still present. It's very lush. I guess lush is the right word to describe this. It's a lush, fruity scent. It's stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so the next category is a sweet floral. And this is also another category that I tend to struggle with, is super floral scents. But again, I feel like with my fragrance journey, I'm starting to learn what I like in a floral scent and what I don't like in a floral scent. And tuberose is a floral note that I used to not like at all, but now it's growing on me. The fragrance that I have to blame for that is one that I received a decant from Eve Spider Smells. I'll link her channel down below, check her out. She sent me a sample of this one, and I was hesitant at first when I saw the note breakdown, but when I wore it on my skin, I was like, man, this is gorgeous. It's beautiful. And it comes from the house of Serge Lutens, and it's Datura Noir. This bottle I haven't sprayed yet because I still have a little bit left from Eve's decant. English. But it's a beautiful, quite feminine. I think men can get away with wearing this, although I find it to lean more on the feminine side. But it's a beautiful tuberose fragrance. There's coconut in here as well, so it's just so delicious, and it's quite sweet. It's probably one of the sweetest floral fragrances that I have. I tend to really love spicy florals, so this one here is one that has converted me, I guess I should say, to be more open to try floral fragrances that lean more on the sweeter side, especially with tuberose, because I used to stay far away from tuberose, but now because of this, I'm more open to it. So I think someone who thinks that they don't like tuberose should try a fragrance like the Tour Noir. It might change your mind. So the next category would be like an ambery, spicy floral fragrance. And it wouldn't be a list of mine if it didn't have a fragrance from Francesca Bianchi. Duh. And this is a fragrance that I feel is very underrated in her collection. Lots of people love Under My Skin, including myself. People love The Lover's Tale. People love The Black Knight, Sticky Fingers. But I feel like this one here kind of got lost in the sauce, and I think people need to really give it a try. And this one is Lost in Heaven. Lost in Heaven is my first love from Francesca. It will always be my first love from Francesca Bianchi. I just love it. And every time I smell it, it reminds me of the beginning of my journey into trying more artistic animalic scents. This is just stunning. Stunning, 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 stunning. So Lost in Heaven has floral notes of mimosa, of magnolia, and I believe there's heliotrope in here as well. It's got a lot of spices like cumin, along with some cinnamon. There's beeswax in here. I believe some honey as well. It's just so full. A very beautifully rounded floral scent. And I always say, even at the time where I struggled with florals, this was what I would say is a floral fragrance for me. I love this one. This is a stunning floral fragrance. Of course, there's a lot happening here, but I really wanted to feature this in my list, and I felt like it fit really well in this spicy, ambery, floral category. So yep, that is Lost in Heaven by Francesca Bianchi. So the next category is your ambery woody category. And for that, I decided to go with one that I really, really love. I love it so much. It's a very warm, kind of sensual oud rose. To me, it's chocolatey. There's coffee notes. Anyway, let me just get to it. It is Fidelis by Histoires de Parfum. You guys are going to hear me talk about this plenty of times. I just featured this in my niche winter list. I think everyone needs to try this fragrance. I think it's very beautiful, very woody, quite dark, a little bit sweet, but there's a lot of elements in here. It's very complex as well. The performance is incredible on my skin. I wish I had a bigger bottle of this. I don't know if it comes in a 120 ml, but this is a 60 ml. I don't know if they have like the other half of it. I'm not sure, but this is a fragrance I think everyone needs to try. Anyone and everyone needs to try, especially if you love your more warmer, ambery, woody fragrance. So I think it fits perfectly in that category. So the next category is a category that many people love, and it's a gourmand. Have you guys heard Joel say gourmand? He says it in the most, let me stop. But he says it in the most sexiest way with his cute accent. He's like, gourmand. So cute. So yeah, next category is gourmand. And for that, I decided to choose one that I don't think I featured on my channel yet, but I do think it's a really nice gourmand scent. And it comes from the house of Parfums de Marly. Is this the only Parfums de Marly I have now? I think so, like full bottle wise. And it is Ojan by Parfums de Marly. Ojan, I think it's very beautiful. Anyone can wear it, especially in the winter months. It's quite sweet, spicy, there's lavender, vanilla. And just like people say, it smells like an apple pie. It really does, especially in the dry down. This maybe is my favorite Parfums de Marly fragrance. Just saying. Anyway, so for my gourmand category, I decided to go with Ojan by Parfums de Marly. So the next category is your spicy ambery fragrance. So this category was a bit tough for me because I do have quite a bit of ambery fragrances, but I wanted to choose something that I found would be easier to wear for anyone. I have some that kind of lean more on the animalic side. So yeah, I chose a few different ones before I decided to go with this one. And the one that I think works well for this category for many people is Amber Premier or Amber Premier. Yeah, so the reason why I chose this amber fragrance is that it isn't super sweet, it isn't super dense or syrupy. One of my personal favorites is Amber Loop by Rania J, but that one has this like syrupy, ooey gooey texture and has a little bit of animalicness that I have a feeling some people wouldn't be comfortable wearing it. But for this Amber Premier, I feel like it's easy to wear. It has this really fresh opening with a lot of patchouli in it as well, but the amber is still very prominent. It's one of my favorite Javois, after Remember Me, of course, because I'm obsessed, and Psychedelic, which I don't have, but I hope to own soon because it's a stunning patchouli fragrance. So if you have tried Psychedelic by Javois, this is very similar to Psychedelic Javois, but just switch the amber and the patchouli notes. So this one's more amber than patchouli, and Psychedelic is more patchouli than amber, but they're very similar, very, very similar. But this one is just a more fresher, something that won't be a struggle to wear, just very everyday, easy to wear scent, very ambery, but a very wearable amber. Amber Premier. So the next category is a spicy woody category, and that one is another one that I had a hard time choosing because I have quite a few of them that fall in this category, and there was a lot of back and forth, like, okay, which one's better, which one's more interesting. So ultimately I decided to go with one of my favorites, which comes from the house of Penhaligon's, and it is Halfeti Leather. It's rose oud leather, tons of spices, wood. I think there's sandalwood in here as well. Very beautiful. I love this one. This one's a very, I think I said this already before, but this is one of my, I think my favorite Penhaligon's fragrance. And I think if you're looking for a fragrance that falls in that category of your spicy woody fragrance, then Halfeti Leather is one that's just fantastic. Fantastic, great. I think it worked very beautifully. Perfect for the winter months. I know I already talked about it in my video, but I think it's a stunner and I think people need to try this. So the next category is woody, just your basic woody fragrance. And again, this is another one. Okay, so this video took me a while to put together because I was going back and forth. A few I knew right away which ones I wanted to choose. Others I had to kind of rethink it, then replace it, and then go back and then replace it, and it was just a lot. The woody category was one of them. But I decided to go with something that I found was a little bit unique, and I don't hear many people talking about it. And it's a very interesting sandalwood fragrance, and it comes from Lush, the Gorilla perfume line, and it's Smuggler's Soul. You see her? So yes, Smuggler's Soul is a predominantly sandalwood fragrance, very woody. But I find that it also is very cozy. I used to wear this scent a lot when I first got it. To me, it was a very appropriate work fragrance. Again, people don't talk about it much, but I think it's very beautiful, very simple, very natural, but a really, really good sandalwood fragrance. Perhaps one of my favorite sandalwood fragrances. So I also think this is one that people should try in the woody category for sure. The final category is one of my favorite categories, and that is the Animalic category. And this is another one that I had to struggle with. In Joa's list, he chose Under My Skin, which you guys know it's like my #1 fragrance ever. So I don't want to choose that. And also with Under My Skin, it's not the most animalic fragrance that I do have. I do love it, but I feel like it's very human. Just like Francesca meant it to be. It's very much a human scent. So I don't want to put that in this list, but instead I wanted to choose something that is, yes, animalic, but also very unique. One that's been around for a long time as well. And that one is Zing by L'Artisan Parfumier. Zing is, I don't know where the name comes from or why they chose Zing. Yeah, so this one's a very interesting fragrance. It's very unique. It has some toffee notes in here. It's quite leathery, but to me, it's super musky and smells like animal fur, but in the best way possible. There's an interesting apple note in here as well, along with some ginger. This is unlike any fragrance I've ever smelled ever, and I think that as far as Animalics go, this would be a great choice to put in a sample pack, for sure. Yeah, this one's great. So that was it. So that was my 13 fragrance sample pack video challenge. Thanks, Joel, for coming up with such an interesting topic for a video. I'm glad I was finally able to get it done. But yeah, I want to use this opportunity to do a very special giveaway since it is the end of the year. 'Tis the season of being generous and giving. So I wanted to go ahead and give away a sample pack of all the fragrances I spoke about today, all 13 of them. So the winner will end up receiving a sample of all 13 fragrances that I discussed today. If you are interested in this giveaway, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know if you're interested, and I will probably keep it open for maybe a week or so and then use like a random comment generator to pick a winner. But the rules are you have to be subscribed. You must be subscribed, obviously, duh. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure you comment. And for an extra entry, go ahead and I'll put a post on my Instagram as well. So if I have a post on there, go ahead and go to my Instagram and leave a comment there as well. And I will choose a winner. Winner will get this entire sample pack that I discussed today. So I hope that is clear. If there are any additional rules, if I'm forgetting to mention something important, I will put it in the description bar below, so make sure you check that out. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.